Alaikum everyone. My name is Huzaifah Ahmed and I am from Rehan School, Korangi campus. Today, the TEDx talk on which I am going to review is The Science of Motivation by Dan Pink. So, I chose this video. It was a task for me, and this one actually kind of surprised me because it challenges something most of us just take for granted. Well, the central argument of this talk is this: traditional rewards aren't always as effective as we think, and Pink backs this up with real research. He talks about an experiment where two groups were given the same problem to solve. One group was just timed, the other group was offered money. The faster you solve it, the more money you get. Common sense says the money group should win, right? It took the incentivized group 3.5 minutes longer to solve the problem. 3.5 minutes slower with more money on the line. And that's not a one time result. This has been replicated over and over again for nearly 40 years. These contingent motivators, if you do this, then you get that, work in some circumstances. But for a lot of tasks, they actually either don't work or they do harm. Yes, so why? Pink explains that rewards work fine for simple mechanical tasks, things with clear steps and one correct answer. But the moment a task requires creativity or deeper thinking, the extrinsic motivators actually hinder the performance, and that's where it gets really interesting. He argues that what actually drives better performance comes down to three things: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Autonomy is the urge to direct our own lives. Mastery is the desire to get better and better at something that matters. And purpose is the desire to do what we do in service of something larger than ourselves. These aren't just feel good ideas. According to Pink, this is what the science actually shows, and most organizations are completely ignoring it. What I found most valuable about this talk is how it separates two things we usually mix together: motivation and performance. We assume that if you reward someone more, they'll perform better. But Pink shows that that's only true in very, very specific situations. The idea that stayed with me personally is that the real motivators are not prizes and punishments, but the unseen intrinsic drive, the drive to do things for their own sake, things that matter. There's some That's something school doesn't really teach you. We're constantly being graded, rewarded, ranked. But if that system is actually reducing our ability to think creatively, and that's a real problem worth talking about. I also appreciated that Pink doesn't just give opinions. Everything he says is grounded in research, which made the talk feel credible rather than just motivational. Overall, this is a talk that makes you rethink a very basic assumption that more reward equals more effort equals better results. The reality, according to the science, is a lot more complicated than that. And lastly, if I had to summarize it in one line, it would be: what motivates people isn't what most people think. I'd recommend this talk to anyone interested in psychology, management, or just understanding why they do or don't feel motivated in their daily work. That was my review of The Science of Motivation by Dan Pink. Thank you, everyone.